going on, guys? Black Scout Survival Late Night Live. Thanks for tuning in. So you probably didn't hear about this. This story was very quiet. You know, usually when there's any type of gunman involved, it blows up around the news. Now, this was a little bit different and probably why you hadn't heard about it. So there was a man with a gun, and this is how man with a gun arrested across from Union Station on Capitol Hill. Someone spotted a man walking around with a quote unquote long gun in the park alongside Delaware Avenue in front of Union Station about 12:30 p.m. Capitol Police said they found the man moments later and commanded him to drop the weapon. They wound up eventually having to tase him because he did not comply. It turned out to be 21-year-old Amar Lavin. And I'll show you first the long gun. Let's show the long gun first. I guess it's good he didn't have a pistol. He was pistol brace compliant per the ATF. You know, he also removed his pistol grip as well. Maybe he thought the pistol brace was removing the pistol grip as well. I think he'd have a hard time trying to operate this firearm. And I don't know that I would technically call this a long gun, but here's a shot of him. This is obviously after he'd been, wrestled around in the leaves and grass and stuff. But so it turns out to be Amar Lavin, who is also a registered sex offender in Georgia. Medics took him to the hospital to make sure he was okay after being tased. They made sure that the media wrote that he was taken to the hospital to make sure that he received treatment and sure he was okay. The police said they still don't understand why he had the gun that resembled an AR-15. Police described the gun as a semi-automatic weapon. Yeah, but you notice how they're dancing around. It resembled AR-15. It's a gun. They just say, man, this is very, very different than a lot of other headlines you see, you know. So based on the limited contact, they said that he may be dealing with some mental health issues. And that's something they always say too, dealing with some mental health issues. Don't know where he got how he got to the park, whether it was on foot. Don't know how he got the gun or what he intended to do. Still ongoing investigation. Now, if there was a few twists, this would be a whole different way the news would be reporting it. Again, now you notice that they said that he is dealing with some mental health issues. Okay. Now, that's what's always said if it's anyone else other than a white person. In my state in South Carolina, up in Rock Hill, there was a football player, a professional football player. You probably heard about the story. And he went and killed an entire white family. I think it was like 8 people. And they said he had mental health issues. You know, they didn't say it was a hate crime or anything like that. They said it was mental health issues. So, but if you're white, they will immediately label you hate crime. That's just how it is. And I want to show 2 sets of headlines kind of demonstrating this. So you see these here. Capitol Police arrest man with AR-15. A lot of people don't say AR-15 though in these news articles. They just say gun. They don't even want to say AR-15, but there's a few that say AR-15, you know, gunman. Now, man with rifle, things like that. In contrast to these type of headlines, white man, right? So if you're white, they're going to definitely say that you're a white man. Okay. They're going to say hate crime. They're going to say racially motivated. They're going to say these things if it's flipped. This is just what they do. Now, whenever the culprit doesn't fit the narrative, like police arrest man, gunman found near Capitol. But this is why I keep saying media is the ultimate enemy of ours. They are our biggest enemy. And it's like George Orwell's 1984 newspeak. That's why I keep harping on this, because people, like, let's say you're an individual that trusts the media. Like, let's say you're not like one of my subscribers here. Let's say, just step in someone else's shoes for a moment. If you believe everything the media says, you trust them. You know, let's just say you don't believe you're a sheep or anything. You just trust that the media is telling the truth. And every day, every time you turn around, you're seeing white man racially motivated, right? You see these sort of things, right? Hate crime. You're going to say, man, those white people that are MAGA are truly racist murderers. That's what you're going to say, because they always try to fit a political tag on you as well, if they can. Now, imagine if you're in a Black American and constantly you've seen on the news that white people were out to kill you. You would be like, man, these guys are out to kill me. But I don't think this guy had a racial motivation, to be honest with you. I think what this guy had is the media pro-Palestine propaganda that's being pushed, because there's been, protests and things like that up there at the Capitol. And so I would imagine this was a pro-Palestine guy who drank the Kool-Aid. And this is, again, why it's so important to question the media. I've said this time and time again, you have to ask yourself, why am I being told this? Why is it being framed this way? A lot of people don't ask these questions. It's also very important with not just the media, but also social media. So I can take a point, right? And if there's no opposition to my point, and I can lay out lots of things to give my statement credibility, and you're just listening to me, you may believe that statement. And the problem is that there's no opposition to it. It's kind of like, I know Netflix did a documentary years ago about, I forget, meat eat or something about not eating meat. And on the surface, if you watch the video, they got doctors, or they got Arnold Schwarzenegger on there. Oh, I eat meat. I eat vegetables. I don't eat meat. All this sort of things. Now, if you don't have an opposing argument and they're laying out data for you, they're laying out what seems to be credible facts, you may say, man, these guys are being truthful. That's why a lot of times the media, if you look at it, especially the fact checking, like if you go to AP News or Snopes and you'll read and they'll fact check something, and a lot of people, this is all they do. They'll read the headline. No, this is not true. But if you go down into the article, it actually says, no, what you thought was true, but they'll change a few words to make it where it's not true. But they're gonna frame these things, right? And so they may mention AR-15, like in this guy's case, to try to take away the Second Amendment, or banning what they call assault weapons. But then the other thing is, though, there's things that you may not even find out about. Like maybe most of you have not even heard about this situation today. And if you did not, please drop a comment. I would like to know if you did not hear, or if you did hear about this Capitol. Now, a few days ago, I didn't hear about this. This should have been all over the place. There was actually another gunman at the Capitol. He's actually somewhat of an influencer, social media influencer. Concerning man arrested near Capitol with weapon was released after previous gun charge. So what does that tell you? Someone who has a gun charge is able to attain a gun. So would banning weapons in any capacity stop bad guys from getting them and doing bad things? No, this guy has been charged. So this is on Sunday. This man had a modified gun and was arrested. So he's has previous gun charge, and then he has an illegal firearm, a modified firearm, right? And he was out of jail on supervised release after a previous gun charge. You can see the gun there. He's got a switch on that thing, right? Look at it. So Capitol Police actually noticed that the driver of the white Infiniti was idling at a green light along Massachusetts Avenue at Union Station just before 2 a.m. on Sunday. The officer tried to pull over the driver, suspecting he might be impaired, but the driver actually sped off and crashed into the Capitol complex barrier. The driver and passenger then got out and started running on foot, but were eventually caught. In the process, they say that the police seized 2 modified guns, one with extended magazine, and the other was known as a giggle switch. Installing a gun is pretty much makes it an automatic weapon. So I've got a photo here. I think it's a tweet they posted. But you see here the extended mag, right? So I have been covering this. Oh yeah, the car was stolen as well. The Infiniti was stolen, by the way. So this guy had an illegally modified firearm, right? And obviously this was a radicalized individual because of the pro-Palestine news coverage and the protest that was this weekend. And again, he's got a modified firearm that would do or cause more casualties than an a legal AR-15 because of the rate of fire, right? But yet they want to demonize AR-15. And again, this is a legal firearm by a guy who, by the law, the law they've made that I don't agree with, but the law they made, they shouldn't own a firearm. So, and just an FYI, I spoke about this and I will cover it more probably this week or next, but in the street, the extended mag, like what I call a candy bar, is extremely popular with criminals. They love them. About every week, I see videos of criminals, and all of them have the extended mag, and a lot of them have the switch to convert a Glock to a full automatic. Now, more than likely, if you come across an individual like that in a home invasion, they're going to have the upper hand. But let me get back to the story real quick. I'll talk about that in just a moment too. But this is the guy here, Ricardo Glass. He's 79,000 followers on Instagram, blue check verified, got bookings and features, well-known guy. And so I question, I was like, man, is this really the guy? And it is. Like, people are like hitting him up on there, discussing this. But again, this does not fit their narrative. They can't be labeled as a white supremacist. And so, but if he was a white guy, trust me, he'd be white supremacist, MAGA supporter, whatever. But you see here, why would you crash out like that, Slim? And then they talk about him getting caught by the Capitol with a stolen Q50 and switches on him. So, it's him definitely. And he hadn't posted since then either. But again, more than likely, if you come across a criminal, they're going to have that extended mag and probably a switch. This is very popular in the street with criminals. And it's, again, why I'm a huge proponent of having an AR, because if you have a standard Glock and they have that and it's a couple guys, you're going to have a fight on your hands, right? Now, this is a thing. I'm a huge proponent of AR for that reason. I'd rather have a AR so I can outgun them. But also, techniques is also more valuable than equipment. So if you want to get some training, go to Black Scout Films. Let me see if I got the thing up there. BlackScoutFilms.com. And on there, $10, you can watch our film. And it's very good film, very high quality film for home defense, home security. But there's a lot of things in there you can take away and you utilize for your everyday life as well. But you're going to learn single man CQB, how to clear rooms by yourself, which is very dangerous, by the way. This is a very dangerous thing to do. And how to harden your home. Also talk about weapon selection, tactics, and techniques. So go to Black Scout Films and you can get it for $10. But again, guys, I think it's terrible that they try to paint the narrative. The media is the enemy. They truly are. You have to be very careful. And I know lots of guys get radicalized from this on both sides, right? There's lots of what they call, red meat. They'll jump on things, what you may think of as clickbait, but it's more so about framing a narrative just with the title, because most people don't even read the articles. They'll only read the title. That's why news media, old school media, spend so much time constructing that, because they know that's mostly what people see, and they'll leave out parts, and on purpose to sway public opinion. But anyhow, guys, I just wanted to share this with you because you probably didn't hear about it. Go over to Black Scout Films and get some training. I'm your instructor in the video. I teach you lots of things that'll save you and your family's life. But at the end of the day, you got to be your own hero, your own protector, because no one's coming to save you. Anyhow, guys, let me know in the comments if you knew about this, if you knew about the one on Sunday or this one, whether you did or you didn't. I'm curious. Let's take a poll. Let's see. And guys, remember to stay frosty, stay strapped, and always stay dangerous. Take care.